Alright, hi guys. Today we're going to be talking about how to use Markdown effectively. So basically what Markdown is a way to document and utilize .md files. Basically, MD is short for Markdown, so it's very useful to use these to essentially establish all your documentation for your packages, for whatever language, Python, Go, whatever project or package you're going to do. Excellent documentation is going to make it easier for people to use, and if it's easier to use, a lot more people are going to use it. And it's just also a great way to think about how you structure the logic and you utilize your actual programming project as well. And when you actually lay down the logic and layout of your code, you think better about it as well. And you can think of where to take it next. So anyways, let's jump into how to use Markdown. I'm going to include a link on a cheat sheet for how to use Markdown, and we'll just go through an easy example. So let's go. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to talk about headings. So you can break down different sections of your Markdown code, and you can see right here we have a markdown.md file, so you can easily create that in the terminal or through your selected IDE. And also, most projects have a readme.md file to document everything. So for this markdown.md file, if you want to do a heading for different sections, different sections, you make it bigger in different ways. So a single pound or hashtag symbol is going to make it the biggest out of everything. So you see it right here. They can be big, or if you use two hashtag or pound symbols, or slightly smaller, and even smaller than that, 3 hashtags or pound symbols. And it's similar to HTML. So this single pound symbol is going to give you an H1 tag essentially, H2 for 2 pound symbols, for 3 pound symbols it's going to be H3. So again, you're getting differing and lowering sizes depending on the amount of hashtags or pound symbols you use. So let's say you actually want to make a bold statement or bold a single word. All you have to do is use 2 asterisks or star symbols around a word, but make sure that touching at both ends. So let's say you also want to emphasize a certain word. What you would do is add a single asterisk or star symbol and make sure that they're touching the ends of the text. So you can see right here, I've also included a picture of Drake and Josh. Nice little joke there. So let's say you wanted to include a photo into your documentation. First, what you would do is add an exclamation point and then 2 brackets for the word in case the picture doesn't show up. So one thing you have to make sure if you want to add a photo, it has to be in the same folder as your Markdown file. So you can see right here I have emphasis.jpg and it's right here. So when I link it into the code, I do the same file name. So let's say I misspell it by 1. That alt text right here is going to be the backup. So if the picture is not available or can't show or is broken somehow, this word is going to be the backup for what you were trying to show. And if you correctly spell it and save in the right folder, it's going to show up inside your Markdown text. And again, with the 2 star symbols around the word, you can emphasize and italicize a text that way. So let's say that you want to add a block quote or specify a certain part of your documentation to be highlighted in a certain way, whether it be a quote or maybe something like a tip or a tool tip for that documentation, an important point essentially, you can use the single greater than caret and include either a quote or that specific important tip. So you can see right here, this is how it would look like if you added that greater than symbol. So let's say you want to do lists, really easy to do. If you want to do numbered lists, you could do 1, 2, 3. All you have to make sure is your specific number and a period after and a space in between the text. So you can see list are cool, list are number, list keep the doctors away. Let's say that you want it to be unordered, but still have a list. So you can basically just forget the numbers, just use a single dash and a space for that. So make some oatmeal, have fun with your library card, and return some videotapes. Let's say you want to actually convert those into usable to-dos. Again, you use the single dash and the brackets. So if it's completed, you use X in between that, and if it's uncompleted, just have a space in between that. And spacing is very important in Markdown, so make sure you do it this way. Since we're all coders, we're eventually going to have to use code snippets or examples in our code. So if you want to do like a one-liner, use a single caret. So that's usually found in the top left part of your keyboard, along with the tilde symbol, which is that little wavy symbol. So right here, we just got a simple print hello world statement. But let's say you want or need to utilize a multi-line portion of code. You could easily use the 3-tick symbol. So 3 ticks right here, 3 ticks right here, and then you can see the code separated and emphasized in the Markdown text. So let's say that you're doing extensive documentation on your particular programming project and you want to separate out different sections. You can easily do that by including in the Markdown 3 dashes right here. So you can see this break between the sections here. So let's say you want to do a strike through. Maybe you have a to-do item that's been completed, or you just want to emphasize specific false statements. So GIF is pronounced like the peanut butter brand. That's objectively false, so we cross that out. And finally, you're going to include a lot of links to probably external documentation or maybe a tutorial. You can do links in easy format as such. So you would have the word you want to highlight. So let's say in this example, it's link and example. You would put those words there, and then without any spaces, you include brackets. Oh, sorry. You include brackets and then a link to that specific URL redirect you want to send the user to, or basically the URL you want to send your user to. So it's a simple format. Brackets, text in there, and then the eventual place you want to link it to. So this looks a lot cleaner than actually adding the URL overall. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to include documentation for this Markdown cheat sheet in the YouTube description, and also provide a GitHub link account right here. And finally, I just wanted to show you an example of a great README or Markdown file. So Stripe is really well known for great developer documentation. So with anything you're going to want to use and learn from the masters or experts in your given field, I think Stripe does a phenomenal job with documentation. So what you can do with these README files for popular repositories is just go through them and see how they write these their documentation for the code. So I'll include the link as well. You can go into the raw file. So let's say you like a way how they structured their documentation. You can see, okay, I like this section right here. So all you have to do is go to the raw file and see how they structured it. This is essentially all Markdown, and you can see how they structured everything. So again, like we talked about, they use the 3 backticks right here for a multi-line code. You can see how they utilized an H3 heading. So basically the smallest heading you can have, the largest heading right here. You can see that they added an unordered list item. And again, multi-line code. They included links right here to their build status and the cover status. And just, again, great ways to learn if you find something you like, and you can learn how to structure documentation here where it's easy to use. So this looks a lot better than just plain text. It's very inviting to other developers to use your particular software. So just, again, you can learn best practices from popular repositories. I'll include this link. Hope this was helpful. And I'll include more of these basic programmer videos. Next video is going to be how to use Git or Git Basics. Essentially using Git effectively, because this is going to help you save your code in different versions of your code. So versioning is very important for how you maintain, build, and save your code, and it's going to make it easier to work with other teammates and build software effectively. So thank you again. Hope you have a nice day, and see you in the next video.